How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a pretty shorter video, but we're actually going to be looking at one car, or a truck I should say, actually, that has made its debut in SEMA. And this custom project is very, very interesting. You could probably tell by the title, but basically it's an old Ford F100 with the Illuminator EV engine offered by Ford Performance, which is actually the very first electric crate engine offered by Ford. And pretty much the electric motor is the exact same electric motor that is found in the new Mustang Mach E. So I did actually see this truck on Instagram today, but just going off this Motor Trend article, this is a 1978 Ford F100, and you could tell like it's done, you know, very, very classy on the outside. I really like the kind of off-white paint color with the orange accents around and the kind of old retro steely looking wheels on it. But underneath it does have both a front and a rear electric motor. And this is something that definitely highlights what Ford Performance kind of sneaked us with back in August when they debuted, or like they first introduced the idea that they're going to be offering this EV electric motor. And speaking of that, there is this other article by Motor Trend as well that has a lot more info on this new Illuminator motor that is offered by Ford Performance. And it's definitely very, very interesting. I don't think, you know, GM or, you know, Mopar are openly offering any EV engines right now, like crate engines, right out the box. Obviously, I did just do a video on the new 632 cubic inch big block that's going to be 1,000 horsepower right off the box from Chevy Performance, and that video is actually doing really good on my channel. But that's kind of the, you know, extreme opposite of this new Illuminator motor that's going to be offered by Ford. Now, the single Illuminator EV crate motor, as you can see right here, generates a peak 281 horsepower and 317 foot-pounds of torque. So obviously nowhere near the ballpark of that 632 cubic inch big block that I previously discussed on my channel. But you got to understand something, like 280 horsepower and 317 foot-pounds of torque might not look like a lot of power in today's day and age, but with an electric motor, there's no lag, there's no you know, power loss or anything like that. Like, it's just super instantaneous. So this thing probably does, you know, offer a very, very unique driving experience actually on the road. And plus, that is not all the power that this has. It actually is combined with that second motor, like I previously mentioned. And this 1978 electrified F100 pickup truck does make 480 peak horsepower and 634 foot-pounds of torque, which is, you know, pretty ridiculous. And this is an all-wheel drive truck as well. Again, the two motors are powering both the front and the rear. And like, looking at this front here, I mean, I feel like I'm not much of a truck guy myself, to be 100% honest with you guys. I like certain trucks, and these old Fords and even the old Chevys too, honestly. I know so many people are just either Ford guys or Chevy guys. I love the old school look of, like, you know, American trucks from back in like the 70s. They're just very simple and plain, and in this example, obviously, you know, they're very classy as well. So now actually going through the gallery and, you know, taking a closer look at this build, you could tell just how clean it is with the kind of hood up right here. You do kind of have this covering over the you know, front electric motor, and there is some storage space, which we'll get to in a little bit. Also, looks like the taillights, as well as the headlights for that matter, are all LED converted, so another resto mod feature on this truck. And moving on to the side profile, very, very simple. I mentioned it before, but I love this like orange stripe with the orange accents on the wheel that complemented. And now here is the front. You have a Ford Performance strut brace going across everything. You have some of your reservoirs right here. You have a little bit of storage space right here and a battery. But that's pretty much it. Like, obviously the electric motors and the batteries and everything, you know, they weigh more than, you know, a regular internal combustion engine would. But this is like really cool to see. And I always love seeing these like professional projects, especially, you know, vehicles that are showcased at SEMA, because they're done by like the best of the best, and you could tell by just the engine bay. Super clean build, and everything kind of just fits like it's meant to. Like, it fits so tight and so snug. And moving on to the interior, I honestly think I like the interior even more than the front engine bay, because you have this really big touchscreen, a very like again, like Tesla-esque or, you know, Mustang Mach E-esque touchscreen in the center there. And then you do have this like digital speedo that fits in right there with the gear selector, and what looks like probably a wheel off of a modern F-150. Another really cool feature about this digital dash is that it does show you the you know, battery percentage that you're on, the charge percentage, as well as your actual range and where you're actually facing. So there's a compass integrated in that as well, which is really, really awesome. You do have the kind of gear selector right down there. I believe that is the one out of, again, a newer F-150. I could be wrong though. Definitely let me know down in the comments below. You also do have an electronic park brake, another feature that is very, very modern. I do like the old school, you know, handbrakes, but for what this truck is, it's going for that, you know, super modern feeling, and that definitely makes a lot of sense. And then moving on to the side, you do have the charging port, which I'm assuming the plug is basically just right out of the Mustang Mach E. It's the same exact plug. And then this is actually the front engine bay with that cover on it. You have the see-through where you can see the strut bar and the top of the electric motor. And then you do have, of course, the storage down below. And I do really like how this truck is, again, tied together in the interior. You have the nice kind of orange tannish stitching, like secondary color in the interior. And then, of course, you have the same exact color displayed on that exterior with that stripe in the wheels. Another kind of subtle design feature, I do like the plaid on the door cards. I don't know if you guys could see that down there, but the door panels, the bottom half of them, they're kind of like this plaid-ish design, which is definitely something that looks a little bit more old school on the truck when compared to all the, you know, modern features that you're getting in the interior. Now this truck is sitting on those 19-inch aluminum 3-piece wheels, and all the way around it is wrapped in 275s by 45s R19 Michelin Latitude Sport high performance tires. So that being said, with the 275s all the way around, with the all-wheel drive and, you know, over 630 foot-pounds of torque that you're getting instantaneously, I'm sure this thing doesn't just look really good. I'm sure it drives pretty damn amazing as well too. Now, I will be leaving a link to this Motor Trend article as well as the other Motor Trend article that talks more about this Illuminator engine down in the description below. But if you haven't already, definitely be sure to do some more research on this truck. I think it's a fantastic build. One of my favorite builds that I've seen from SEMA so far. Obviously, SEMA is still going on, but huge credit to both Ford Performance as well as MLE Race Cars. That actually is the shop that, you know, built this truck according to this article. So definitely be sure to, you know, go show them love as well too. And also in the comments down below, let me know whether you like this idea of a resto mod with a kind of EV drivetrain or powertrain, or if you like the kind of old school idea of a resto mod that's clean with a more modern, you know, big American V8, such as like an LS or a Coyote or something like that in it. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much just going to be it for today's video. If you haven't already, definitely subscribe down below. It helps me out a lot as a small YouTuber. Like always, thank you guys for all the support, and I'll see you in the next one.